incited by Trump at the
Oh
Capitol.
my God, that's all such a lie. That was all the left. We have all the proof. There's tons of proof.
January 6th was a plan that was pre-planned by the Democrats.
I knew that it was pre-organized by Antifa.
What did you think of what happened?
Fucking Donny O'Sullivan is back.
6th of January, the violent insurrection. What did you think of that?
That's what you guys call it, the insurrection?
What would you call it?
Well, I call it a movement by the communists to make it look like Trumpers did it. That's what I call it.
So many Trump supporters arrested at it.
Well, that's what you guys say. I don't believe that. You prove it to me.
I mean, there's all the indictments.
I mean, whatever you guys say, I don't believe any of it.
Right.
To tell you the truth.
These Trump supporters are in denial about what happened on January 6th, and some believe in QAnon.
What's going to happen at some point is there'll be arrests, and that'll include a lot of the line media, and then there'll be military tribunals.
Hasn't that been, they keep saying that for
Well,
years, and
no,
it's not
it hasn't
happened.
been years. It hasn't been
It's
years.
been since 2017. It's been years
Believe
now.
me, we're taking it. This is a 6,000-year-old death cult.
Right.
You can't take it down that quick.
I understand you're a very passionate Trump supporter, right? But you surely can admit that the people who stormed the Capitol were Trump supporters.
No, I definitely cannot. In fact, you're talking to the right person, because I can send you tons of footage that shows that was all the left dressed up, the Antifa, the BLM, dressed up as Trump supporters.
Come on.
It is my hope that President Trump comes back as the 19th president of the United States.
Yes!
Under the...
This is my favorite one, dude. This is, oh God, I fucking love these people so much. I mean, come on. Oh, the 19th president thing is like all of the presidents, what is it? Like all the presidents are actually fake, and we've only had 18 presidents or some shit before.
1776, and
It's so good.
that he is inaugurated on March 4th. That is my hope for our future.
Some have bought into a new conspiracy theory that Trump will return as the 19th president on March 4th. Why? Well, they have misinterpreted an 1871 law and believe Ulysses S. Grant, who was inaugurated on March 4th, 1869, was America's last legitimate president. It may all sound bizarre, but online...
Someone said they're the American Shia now. What an incredible reference. Yes. This is it.
Discussion about March 4th has been a contributing factor in the decision to keep the National Guard in Washington, D.C.
Are you going to feel foolish on March 5th when Biden's still president?
Then Trump has a different plan in play.
Bro, I like that she's already, like, at some level you gotta recognize that you're being fucked, right? At some level you gotta recognize that you're being duped, because, like, she preemptively is already setting up ways in which you know, she will be fucked over, but then she will justify it. Do you see what I'm saying? She has to recognize it. She has to recognize it.
Everybody keeps saying Trump has a plan, he has a plan. When he lost the election, they said he has a plan, he's still going to
Trump
stay that
didn't
way.
lose the election, sir.
But he did.
Trump did not lose the election, and that's where we differ.
Right.
And that's where I believe the information that Mike Lindell has put out
The pillow guy.
of all of...
Like, this group is getting smaller and smaller. Like, make no mistake. I think at this point, it's just like media fancy. We just like looking at like crazy people, and that's pretty much it. We just like putting a mic on crazy people, and these people are very entertaining because of their delusions. Like, this is not the representation of the entirety of the Republican Party at all. It wasn't, but now it's like, especially since like Trump lost the election, pretty obviously. It's just ridiculous. Like, this is just like, they can't even hold it up in their news cycles, right? Because of threats, like legal threats. They can't even consistently reinforce this narrative. That actually puts a gigantic burden on a lot of these people, right? They would be more willing to believe and accept these things if, you know, Newsmax and One American News Network were actually consistently pumping this shit out. But now it's just like Mike Lindell, Mike Pillow, right? Mr. Pillow, and like a couple other Facebook groups. But They have been eradicated from the internet. Like, these misinformation networks have been either eradicated from the internet or been sued into oblivion, so they can't actually get on board with it. Someone said ask them to put money on it. I think it's a pretty good way to do it. 100%. It's like, oh really? You know, will you bet $1,000 on it? That's a pretty good way to effectively dismantle that point of view, because like deep down inside, they probably don't believe in it. You know what I mean? If there is somewhere down there, if there's a real person in there, like, they will just not fucking bet on it. There's no way.
The abuse, corruption, stealing.
So you trust a man? You trust a man more who sells pillows than the Republican officials in Georgia?
Oh, absolutely.
But do you realize that sounds
Let me
crazy.
just tell you that the people in Georgia are sick.
And while most of the world looks on in horror at a deadly military coup in Myanmar, that's exactly what these Trump supporters hope to see happen here in the United States of America.
This whole thing with Biden is just, he's like a puppet president. The military is in charge. It's going to be like Myanmar, what's happening in Myanmar. The military is doing their own investigation, and at the right time, they're going to be restoring the republic with Trump.
Why is it not like Myanmar?
What's going on
different
in Myanmar
country.
right now? The government took over and they're redoing the election.
Would you like to see it happen?
Absolutely.
I would like to see it
Really?
happen. Yes.
You know why? Because the election was stolen from us.
I never would have believed CNN would have given me a chance to speak the truth. What a miracle, praise God.
I mean, but we're going to say in our news report that QAnon is a conspiracy theory. You don't believe QAnon is a conspiracy theory?
Oh, I know it isn't. I know it isn't. And I'm not much for believing. I have to know.
It's Myanmar. How the U.S. Army uses video games to recruit new soldiers, casually expand high school. Okay, well, we're not going to look at all that right now. I wanted to look at live stream fails a little bit as